First of all, many thanks for the invitations that you have sent to the police force. I think it's always rewarding to attend events where we can share some police knowledge and especially interact the police knowledge with the university and other private sector actors as well, and especially when you're talking about technology. Okay, one of the legitimate questions you may arise at this point is, what is a person dressed in a police uniform doing here? This is not a crime scene. I did not come here to arrest anyone so far. We are not in the presence of outlaws, I hope. And nor this is a Trail of High Street Blues Portuguese version. In Portuguese language, the word security or segurança comprises, in a broader perspective, two aspects: safety and security. In this regard, the Anglo-Saxons were much more enlightened than the Lusitanian from the Iberian Peninsula. We tend sometimes to make things difficult. Security is one of the main pillars of modern and democratic societies, and depending on the social dimensions we are dealing with, security plays many different roles. From political campaigns where security and police are heavily approached, to the most operational and frontline interventions when we dial 112 for the Anglo-Saxons 911. I'm positively sure that police actions and security issues are one of the most scrutinized subjects in modern societies. When we speak about technical exercise of policing, we speak about a common object: to provide security. And two different actors who ask for the support of police and those who provide this support, the police officers. The police officer and policing were brought to scientific discussions in Portugal, as I mentioned, just a few years ago. Firstly, connecting police activity to pure law enforcement and legal frameworks, and lately assuming that police activity should be measured from the inside, taking into account the main actor, the police officer, in various scientific perspectives. What I'm just trying to bring out is that the police officer, it's the other part of police activity. We usually tend to be focused on the police activity, the outcome of the police activity, but we have to study the police officer itself to provide a high standard quality of response. Since '95, as I was mentioned, we have witnessed the development of strategic partnerships between universities and police forces. For a long time, and from my point of view, perhaps too long, we have witnessed the fearlessness difference between the knowledge produced in the university environment and the police praxis. We all know that the police and policing are such a rich subject that would feed several doctoral theses. Finally, near 2 decades later, we are able to be here, where a police officer is discussing among its university and researchers' counterparts what might have caused the difference. For the last 5 years, we have embraced projects from the outer context of the police, aggregating theoretical approaches to empirical perspectives. In this sense, and I would like to point out the scientific courage of the Faculty of Psychology in embracing the police practices in their lines of investigation. In my view, Professor Cristina was the first university member that clearly realized the potential of studying the police activity when police was a kind of institution from the darkness. Hold on. Briefly, I will show you a case study where police practice marries with scientific knowledge. For 4 years, we designed a study which aimed, firstly, to know the levels of emotional exhaustion and motivation strategies amongst the municipal police officers during the modifications made in the police structures, and then to know the perception of that citizens' targets by the actions of police forces in Porto. I think it would be very extensive and probably boring to describe all of the study. Basically, what we did was to evaluate the police action from the inside. I think it's very easy to criticize the police activity, at the final line of the police activity, but from the inside it makes the difference. Because at the end of the day, police officers are common citizens that have the common feelings that everyone has. The study concluded that the modifications of police strategies have been beneficial effects and stable for a long period of time. Let's bring our discussion to future cities environment. What kind of expectations might be bring out from this project in a police perspective? The use of technology, well, everyone knows that the police use technology for criminal investigations. But when we heard a few minutes ago talking about sensors, talking about assessing the movement of people, the producing carbon monoxide, all kinds of action that occurs in a city in a 24-hour cycle, well, I will bring you later on. Just 10% of police activity is chasing criminals. We have the other 90%. And all of this information, if it is provided in time, and if it is reliable, has a huge police impact in our decisions as commanders, in our daily decisions to provide security to citizens. Because this is not just chasing criminals. We have to use this kind of information to provide, well, a safer future city. As I was mentioned, the use of technology, well, video surveillance, tracking GPS devices, live police actions, IT, all kinds of toys for big boys, which may help police to achieve better targets in an operational and personal perspective, has proven to be the right path to follow. International experience has shown the importance in monitoring police activity using high-tech in its various levels. A few years ago, I remember a few years ago, I visited the RCMP, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police HQ, and all of the fancy equipments, they would call this unit Toys R Us. And it's true because we are talking about toys. We are talking about toys not just to assess or to surveil criminals. We are talking about toys, for example, to check the heart beating of a police officer during their line of duty. From the police activity itself, we can bring out lots of different data. Police efficiency, response, adequacy, proportionality, effectiveness and merit. Nevertheless, all these items only cover the tip of the iceberg. Under the water level, we have the police officer, male or female, well, a common human being, filled with emotions, expectations, frustrations, seeking sensations, experiencing stress, however, trying to provide a professional and adequate response. This is, in my view, the big challenge. As a police manager, how can I take good care of these two different worlds that are constantly merging? That means we can only provide a high-quality service if we take good care of our police officers as well. It is widely known that police officers suffer from several professional diseases, as, for example, heart pathologies, high blood pressure, stomach pathologies, mental disorder, etc., etc., etc. If we add to this the shift rotation and stress, that's what I call, this profession is an up and down profession, because we can be easily going through driving in a most peaceful street, and suddenly we have an activation going to somewhere else, there is someone killing another. So the level of stress are just up and down every day. And this, believe me, kills. We easily realize how important it is to monitor each police officer during their line of duty. We should bear in mind that, as I mentioned, 10% of police activity is chasing criminals. The other 90% are used in social work activities, sometimes even more stressful than a police arrest. It should be a public concern to know that Portuguese police officers have a life expectancy 10 years below average. That means, well, probably I'm in a big trouble. A high rate of suicide, a high rate of incapacitating diseases, and a high rate of family disruption. A future city, in my perspective, is also a city that is concerned about the welfare of its police force, anticipating problems, and the indicators that we have shown in the previous presentations. I think that's what we are talking about. We are talking about, well, at the end of the day, that's the problem, but we are anticipating that we can do something different for the future. Promoting high-quality police response and security, and taking good care of their police members. If we have healthy and motivated individuals, we will decrease absence and increase service quality. Of course, this is, I think, is a common statement. The global village of technology is happening everywhere, and we cannot, as a police officer, step aside from this path. And my presence in this forum reassures the police force commitment to promote a safer and better Porto city by using not only, well, the toys that we have on a daily basis to ensure law and order, but using as well scientific knowledge produced at the Porto University environment or from the private sector as well. Thank you very much for your patience.